Hey, what is going on, guys? My name is Chall YouTube channel and welcome to another Chall review. Now, this is one of the many other series, aside from the main focus of the channel, which is of course the theme park news. So for those of you who are new subscribers, you don't know what this is, here is how it works. In these episodes, we're going to be reviewing an attraction that I've experienced. It could be a coaster, it could be a flat ride, thrill ride, water ride, dark ride, any type of attraction. Could be the dungeon for all we know. I'm going to be giving it my seal of approval using the rating system. So you've got the layout of the ride, so it could be things from like the queue line layout, which will come more along another topic. But it's more about the layout of the ride, the on-ride experience. You've got theming and landscaping around the ride, so that's theming items, how it's landscaped, is it fitting in with the natural landscape. You've got queue line and station atmosphere. And of course you've got the overall rating. So that's the four main categories of how we review these rides. And it isn't a case of, you know, we'll count up the other three ratings and that's our overall score. It's those three ratings and balancing it as to sort of which direction to go overall. So to show that we're not just reviewing coasters on this particular series, our first review of April 2019, I said March then, we're in April. So yeah, the first review of April 2019 on the Chall review playlist is Ice Age the 4D experience at Alton Towers. Now this opened along with Nemesis of Terror in 2012. This replaced the old Cloud Cuckoo Land Theatre, of course used to be known as the Cred Street Theatre. That hosted things like the Tweenie Show, the Magic Theatre in the days of the Land of Make Believe from the 90s, the late 90s. It used to have Barney as well, because they used to have the Barney's Playground and the Tweenies Playground before that was sort of transformed into Wobble World as part of Cloud Cuckoo Land. So there's some big things. Of course, currently the theatre is SBNO, or Standing But Not Operating, and there's a frog hopper that probably is going to get outdated with the two new drop towers in CBeebies Land in front of it, just to show there's something in front of it. So that's going to be hopefully rectified next season, because I want to see a Cloud Cuckoo Land retheme next year. So let's get on with the experience there. So starting off then with the queue line and the station atmosphere. Now the station atmosphere is sort of, because it's a 4D cinema, I'm going to sort of give that the station atmosphere as if you're waiting for the film to start. So let's start off with that, because it's the easiest to sort of describe, and it's the overall room. I think it's really good. I think the layout is really nice. I think the roof is caved off nice and well. I think it's got a nice light blue, icy kind of feel, because it is Ice Age after all. And I do think it's got that cold vibe. It's got some kind of room temperature thing, I think. But the main thing about this topic, especially for this ride, is the queue line. The queue line is really nicely themed. When I was a few years younger, I had a very nice picture outside when the film was Ice Age Dawn of the Dinosaurs 3D, or 4D shall I say. You know, when it was Ice Age 3 Dawn of the Dinosaurs, you know, they had the eggs, Egbert, Shelley and Yoko from the film. If you've watched the film, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably think it's just random names. But yeah, I was literally sat out there with a nice photo. And I noticed the entrance archway. That's got a nice theme to it. Nice snowy sort of layers. They have some characters rolling around. They had a game store next to the exit called Sid's Snowball Toss, and you know, towards Tower Street you'd have Sid and Scrat walking around the area. So it was nice that they built on the Ice Age brand. Of course, this wasn't the first attempt at a 4D cinema. For those of you who are fans of Alton Towers and Alton Towers fanboys and fangirls everywhere will know this. Shrek 4D was planned for the old Ice Age, the old Ice Arena in the old Storybook Land before it became CBeebies Land with Old MacDonald's Farmyard in 2014. But the old Ice Show Arena, which stood SBNO after its last show a couple of years before, was going to be transformed into Shrek 4D. They were also considering the Black Hole tent as well, an X Sector. They were considering that at one point. They were going to transform Storybook Land into Far, Far Away, but of course DreamWorks pulled out of that project. And of course, a few years down the line, in 2014, I believe, we had the brand new Shrek attraction down in London, Shrek's Far, Far Away Adventure, which is like a multi-dimensional bus tour. to Far Far Away. So again, it's nice to see DreamWorks managed to get a partnership with Million Entertainments at some point down in London. But imagine if Sea Beavers Land never happened and we got a Far Far Away area in Storybook Land instead. Again, who knows? But back to Ice Age 4D. Yeah, the entrance archway, really snowy atmosphere. Then the queue line. Felt quite cattle penny, but the cattle penny sort of faded away because of the look of the fencing. And it was like icicle fencing, like really light blue, snowy fencing. You get your 3D glasses, of course, before you enter the queue line. But you know, it's a very nice queue line, very nicely designed. So for queue line station atmosphere, I'm going to give it a strong 6.5. Moving on to the layout of the ride. Now the layout is just a normal 4D cinema, so it's nothing special there. But this topic's going to be mainly about on-rideability, and you know what? I think it's a very nice ride. I think it's very, very nice. I think that the 3D effect worked really well. I didn't think it was too blurry. I didn't think it was too low quality. I thought the 3D element worked brilliantly. Loads of great effects. There was snow. There was leg ticklers I found. I felt them tickle the back of my leg. So that was quite nice. The film really added to the effect of it all and stuff like that. So definitely one of the best 4D films, 4D cinemas I've experienced. And I've done quite a few. So I'm a really big fan of the on-rideability. There's some, like I said, really great effects. The film worked really well. It wasn't too, you know, flingy. The seats weren't too, you know, flingy that way, because the seats do move in this experience. Of course, I never got to experience the final film of Ice Age 4D, the No Time for Nuts, which is the newer film, sort of the short film. I didn't get to experience that, unfortunately, but you know, the seat moving, I liked how it was subtle, and it wasn't too much and it wasn't too little. It was sort of in the middle. So really nice about that. So for layout and on-rideability, I'm going to give that a strong 6. I think definitely the best 4D cinema I've experienced. Of course, I'm still yet to do loads of 4D cinemas, but again, that's something we can do in time. Theming and landscaping around the ride. So this is theming items around the queue line, because the eggs that I had a photo outside of when I was younger, outside the archway to the entrance of the queue line, that still counts as theming and landscaping around the ride, because it's not in the queue line, it's just outside the fencing, so it doesn't really count. In my opinion, it doesn't count. So that's a nice piece of theming there. I thought the landscaping, in terms of how it works with the rest of the area, Cloud Cuckoo Land when it was, I thought that worked really well. You know, Ice Age is quite a light theme, Cloud Cuckoo Land's quite a light theme, so I thought it worked really, really well with each other. So for landscaping and theming around the ride, I'm going to give it a strong 6 again. So overall then, for Ice Age, the 4D experience at Alton Towers Resort, I'm going to give this an overall rating of 6.5 out of 10. I think it's the best 4D cinema I've done. I think the on-rideability is brilliant, the effects work really well, the film was programmed to perfection. I thought the character meet and greets when I was younger with Sid and Scrat, and you know, you get the opportunity for the younger kids to meet them. I did when I was younger. I thought that was a nice touch to the attraction, especially when they're walking around Tower Street. You know, they're not just walking around Cloud Cuckoo Land, they'll walk to Tower Street as well, and they'll sort of interact with guests and bring them in. I'm not too sure if that was just for opening year, because I didn't really see them after that over the next few years. So I didn't know if it was just for the opening year the characters were walking around, or it was happening sort of when I was not there in the next couple of years after that. But again, it's one of those things, isn't it? So I want to see something done with that theatre space. I really want something done to Cloud Cuckoo Land in general. I mean, I like the new sign they've put up for Cloud Cuckoo Land, so it's like, I believe they've taken down the old sign. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know they've put a new sign up because they've got the Cloud Cuckoo Land logo in like a green sort of frame, which is sort of out of the way of the Alton Towers dungeon, which has been getting some really great reviews, so I can't wait to experience that in a few months' time. And it looks like it's pretty much certain I'm probably going to be going to Alton Towers this year again, so get to experience the Alton Towers dungeon. And of course I'll bring that as a separate review, as well as a spoil. What I'm going to do with that, and I'll explain more about it close to the time, I'll explain it again. I'm going to do a spoiler-free review of the dungeon in the vlog, and then do a complete spoiler alert review separately for the review playlist. So there we go. So overall then, 6.5 out of 10 for the Ice Age 40 experience at Alton Towers. Like I said, Coca-Cola needs to be the focus next year. You know, there were signs last season that it was going to be the focus for this year. We didn't really know what for. And of course we've got the dungeon, which is alright. It seems to be working really, really well. I just hope they can maintain it, because you look at Wickerman and you think how good the effects were on opening day, and then the fire's been off most of the rest of the season. So, and it was off. I think it was off for the opening weekend as well. So they haven't really been maintaining the effects, but I think that's just the heat of the structure. I think so. I think they just need to maintain it a bit better. But it seems to be running really well. So there we go. So thank you very much for watching this review from Alton Towers and the Ice Age 40 experience. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss a YouTube video. My name is Coach Chall YouTube channel. Keep them in the Coast Upper Dudes, and I'll see you guys in the next video soon. Take care. Have an awesome day, my friends.